Tonight on First at 9, this Sunday the 4th of August 2024. Lofty ambitions. Sri Lanka must achieve a gross domestic product of $350 billion by the year 2050, affirms President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Polls and politics. Rajapaksa ally Rohitha Begunawardena pledges support to the president. SJP-led coalition to be formed on Thursday. Dilip Jayavira named Sarvajana Balaya as presidential candidate. Regional cooperation. Sri Lanka committed to reduce trade barriers, affirms the Prime Minister.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Derana First at 9. I'm Tharindu Mahendra, joining you with the latest in Sri Lanka and from around the world. Now taking you straight away to your top story this evening, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says it is his intention for Sri Lanka to have a gross domestic product of $350 billion by the year 2050. Attending a series of events in Batticaloa, the head of state reiterated that it is imperative for Sri Lanka to maintain its agreements with the International Monetary Fund and creditor nations in order to protect the country's economic stability. The president went on to say that he decided to contest the presidential election as an independent candidate to ensure the continuation of the government's economic policies and to create a change in Sri Lanka's political system. President Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday attended a discussion with various professionals in the Batticaloa district.
We have now looked at how do we earn foreign exchange. Then we have to become an export economy. We must promote national production for export. That is why I brought the economic transformation law. That our government's policies must be in line with the export economy. So that by 2032, 2035, we will be able to pay our way through. Today, our GDP is $85 billion. I want it by 2050 to be $350 billion. Every province have to develop itself. He will give you the policies, he will give you the money we can. You all develop, you can compete and develop also.
The president also engaged in discussions with a number of civil societies in the Batticaloa district.
You come to a certain stage, we have got agreements with the IMF and the creditor countries. They have put benchmarks. We have to be within it. You can't go and change it. If you change it, all the money goes. So in this election, some of the parties are saying we are going to change this, that clause, we are going to pay this. None of those can be done. Outside the economy, they can talk anything they want, but this one can't be touched. So if you go to touch it, you are just going to create instability. We have to carry this forward because these parties wouldn't commit themselves that I had to come forward and contest. So we got to stabilize ourselves. We must change the system. That's why I decided to come as independent, not to come as a party. A lot of them told me take a party and come. I said no, I come as independent. The people must realize that we have to change the system. And if you are not willing to change the system, the country must go down.
President Wickremesinghe also engaged in a discussion with the Batticaloa Bar Association.
Remember something, that next door is Tamil Nadu, which by 2050 will be having a $1 trillion GDP. Now, do we link ourselves to that or not? I have been talking with Prime Minister Modi, let's link ourselves. Even in Tamil Nadu, as you all know, South Tamil Nadu has to be developed. So if we work together, Southern Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka both can develop. On the other hand, to join RCEP and have free trade agreements with our Southeast Asian and East Asian countries. The other is tourism. This is very underutilized. The potential is big. From Nilavali to Arugambe, minimum of 50 big hotels we should have. And now we are planning out with Subana Jurong, the Singapore planning agency, of how to develop this area.
Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
National convener of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna parliamentarian Rohitha Abegunawardena says that he will extend his support to incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the upcoming presidential election. Speaking at an event in Kalutara, parliamentarian Abegunawardena emphasized that his decision was made in response to requests from party supporters.
As as a group of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna parliamentarians pledged their support for President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the upcoming presidential election, contrary to the party Politburo's decision to field its own candidate, a rift emerged between the two factions within the party, one calling for the party to support the incumbent president, while the other pushed for the party to nominate its own candidate. Against such a backdrop, Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna yesterday sent a letter to its MPs outlining the Politburo's decisions concerning adherence to party discipline. The letter states that any member who opposes the party's decisions will have their membership revoked, irrespective of their position within the party. Against this backdrop, the national convener of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna, parliamentarian Rohita Begunawardena, during a meeting in Kalutara stated that he will extend his support to incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election.
I would like to state that my decision is not a betrayal of Mahinda Rajapaksa or the SLPP. There are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. I will bow to your request and extend my support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
ඔබේ මතයට හිසනවම රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමාව මේ රටේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා
Additionally, a resolution supporting President Ranil Wickremesinghe was passed today at a meeting of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna in the Kaduwela electorate.
We don't support Ranil Wickremesinghe's politics. However, we do agree with his process on developing this country. That is why we supported him. All the members of the SLPP voted in favour of all the bills tabled in Parliament by the President. Mahinda Rajapaksa supported him in every parliamentary vote. That means he agreed the process which Ranil Wickremesinghe carried to develop this country. So why is he trying to nominate another candidate? It is because Dhammika Perera is wealthy.
A resolution supporting President Ranil Wickremesinghe was also passed at a meeting of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna in the Matale electorate.
They are not trying to win this election. They have already accepted that they will be defeated both in the presidential election and the general election. Their target is to secure the position of opposition leader. We will never support such campaigns.
Meanwhile, both factions of Sri Lanka Janatha Peramuna expressed their views on the current situation.
We will not support the SLPP candidate. We do not even know who the SLPP candidate is. If it is the person that we think, then we refuse to support him in the interest of the country. I will stand by my decision.
Voters will never leave the party regardless of what parliamentarians do. What is evident from their decision to support the president is that they are politically bankrupt. You cannot win an election with only the support of members of district committees.
The party can take disciplinary action against party members, but you can never change the opinion of its members. We will stand by our decision.
If Ranil Wickremesinghe wanted to rebuild the UNP, he should have fractured the SJB and invited its members to rejoin the UNP. However, he fractured the SLPP to reform the UNP. This is how he repays us after we appointed him as president.
Horizon Campus 2024 Intake 2. Register now.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa promises that a Samagi Jana Balawega-led government will bring the individuals responsible for the country's economic collapse to justice and recover all stolen state assets. The opposition leader made this statement while addressing a rally in Nuwara.
The Nuwara Farmers' Conference of the Samagi Jana Balawega was held this morning in Hanguranketa under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa.
ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය රටේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණු කම්බ හොර ගණදෙනුවක් තහනම් කරා.
The Supreme Court ruled that the controversial VFS deal was illegal. Through this deal, the process of visa issuance was handed over to a separate non-government entity. This contract was given to the company in question without the tender calling procedure being followed. That cost the country a loss of $1.2 billion. Those funds could have been used to build smart classrooms in schools. Those who promised to end corruption did not even raise their voices against the VFS deal. However, they claim that they will put an end to corruption. How can they end corruption when they themselves are in league with corrupt individuals? individuals. On the 21st of September, the people of this country will give their mandate to bring the individuals who bankrupted the country to justice and to retrieve all of the assets they misappropriated. We promise to fulfill that responsibility without protecting those who led the country to ruin.
Star dishwasher Dali Hell Indul Pahasuwen Sede. Star dishwasher magic tub එක.
The Sri Lanka Muslim Congress has decided to support opposition leader Sajith Premadasa in the forthcoming presidential election, subject to conditions. According to SLMC leader MP Rauf Hakim, the decision was reached during the party's Supreme Council meeting, which was held today.
The party's high command has met today and has taken a decision to endorse the candidacy of Mr. Sajith Premadasa for presidency, subject to a discussion on issues concerning our community and the country. Those issues have been discussed at length by party's high command, and I have been instructed to ensure that Mr. Sajith Premadasa should give his concurrence to those main issues that we would place before him. We would do the discussions within the next 72 hours with him, and subject to those discussions, our decision to endorse Mr. Sajith Premadasa as the presidential candidate for SLMC's support is being confirmed.
Independent parliamentarian and member of Freedom People's Congress, Professor G.L. Peri says Sri Lanka's strongest political convention in the recent past, led by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa's Samagi Jana Balawegaya, will be formed on the 8th of August. Addressing a media briefing this morning, Professor Peri said a government under the leadership of Premadasa will introduce an amendment to the constitution requiring a referendum in addition to two-thirds majority in parliament with regard to any reduction of the powers of the commission which investigates bribery and corruption.
In a few days' time, on Thursday, the 8th of August, there will come into being the strongest coalition which has been established in the recent past in our country. It is a decisive development in our political landscape. It is a coalition that is founded upon the bedrock of principle, values. The Honourable Sajith Premadasa is committed to the concept of government under the law, not above the law. His administration will not impose on the country autocratic rule, arrogant, insensitive and overbearing. Above all, we will have deep respect for institutions in this country, principally the judiciary, which is in the final analysis the instrument through which the basic rights of our people are guaranteed and enforced. The Supreme Court has become a thorn in the side of a corrupt government. It is the only restraint that is effectively operative today against frauds of unparalleled proportions. Under the leadership of the Honourable Sajith Premadasa as President, when he assumes office on the 22nd of September, one of the first items on the legislative agenda will be a constitutional amendment which will declare that any interference, any kind of diminishing, lessening of the powers of the Bribery and Corruption Commission cannot be done within Parliament by a two-thirds majority. Even if all the members of Parliament support such a measure, it cannot be done. It will be compulsory to hold a referendum and to obtain the support, the endorsement of the majority of our people.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anurukumara Dissanayake, says the NPP will transform Sri Lanka's political culture by introducing politics with standards and accountability. The NPP leader made these remarks during a gathering in Maligawatha today.
The National Conference of the Retired Armed Forces Collective of the National People's Power was held this afternoon at the PD City Centre ground in Maligawatha. The event was graced by NPP leader Anurukumara Dissanayake.
In the coming days, we expect to encounter threats from those in power. The State Intelligence Service recently handed over a report to the government informing that the resurgence of Sri Lankans residing abroad is evidence for the fact that the NPP's victory cannot be prevented. Secondly, the report added that almost every retired member of the Tri-Forces is currently supporting the NPP, assuring the NPP's victory. We will relentlessly move forward until our victory on the 21st of September. Let's put aside 75 years of history after independence for a moment and focus on what happened during the last 2 weeks. Some dedicated supporters of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, such as SM Chandrasena and Rohitha Gunawardena, are now supporting Ranil Wickremesinghe. Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, who was a vocal opponent of Ranil Wickremesinghe, is also supporting the president. Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca was the chairman of the SJB when the party was formed. However, now the SJB chairman is out of the party, while GL Paris, who was the chairman of the SLPP, has joined the SJB. The country requires a change in its political culture. The NPP is the only political party capable of creating that change and introducing politics with standards to the country.
Leader of the Maubima Janatha Party, Dilip Jayavira, was announced as novel political movement Sarva Jana Balaya's presidential candidate for the upcoming presidential poll set to take place on the 21st of September this year. Addressing a gathering in Colombo today, newly announced presidential candidate Jayavira called on all Sri Lankans to join the Sarva Jana Balaya in its journey towards victory.
On the 27th of May this year, several opposition political parties and intellectual groups launched a new political movement named Sarva Jana Balaya. Accordingly, the new alliance was formed by National Freedom Front led by Vimal Weerawansa, the Pivituru Hela Urumaya led by Udaya Gamanpila, the Maubima Janatha Party led by Dilip Jayavira, Vasudeva Nanayakkara's Democratic Left Front, the Sri Lanka Communist Party, the Yuthukama Forum led by Gevindu Kumaratunga, and the Independent MPs Forum led by Professor Channa Jayasumana. Recently, leader of the Pivituru Hela Urumaya Udaya Gamanpila revealed that 3 names have been proposed as the presidential candidate of Sarva Jana Balaya and noted that the most suitable candidate will be chosen and announced at its conference scheduled to take place on the 4th of August. As such, a convention of the Sarva Jana Balaya was held at the Sugadadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo this afternoon with the representatives of the alliance in attendance.
This country faced numerous disgraces. This is a time period when certain groups are making efforts to drag the country down the same path while representing it as different paths to the people of the country. Doesn't such a country need an alliance that aims to develop the country? To fulfill this requirement, the Executive Committee of Sarva Jana Balaya unanimously decided to name Dilip Jayavira as its presidential candidate.
ඉදිරිපත් කරන අපේක්ෂකයා වෙනින් කවුරුවත් නෙවෙයි දිලිප් ජයවීර.
We always stood by the country in order to protect it. We worked towards bringing Gotabaya Rajapaksa into power. We did not expect his closest relatives, including his brother, to plant conspirators in his office. They destroyed our dream to transform this country into a great nation. Therefore, we have to take firm action to create change in this country. Certain political and non-political individuals, as well as some entrepreneurs in today's society, are extremely corrupt. This must be stopped. We propose that all individuals must be assigned a unique identification number at birth. Implementation of this initiative can be completed within a span of 6 months. This paves the way to bringing down corruption in Sri Lanka by a significant percentage in 6 months. If there's a topic all political parties must discuss, it is the implementation of this unique identification number. Sri Lanka's youth would not have to leave this country after this digital number is introduced. As a Sarva Jana Balaya Alliance, we promise all state employees that we will honor you. We will honor you as saviors of this country in the near future. We will work towards establishing an improved security system through which all war heroes currently on duty will be treated with respect. I pledge to you that our politics will never cause you to worry. What we have formed is not merely another alliance, but an alliance which will direct this country towards victory. We invite all Sri Lankans to be a part of this historic victory.
Welcome back. Now, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says Sri Lanka is committed to reducing trade barriers as much as possible in a bid to improve cooperation, trade and investment within the South Asian region. Addressing the South Asian Trade Fair 2024, the Premier invited private sector businesses in the region to enter into the renewable energy trade, which possesses huge economic potential.
South Asian Trade Fair 2024, organised by the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka and the SAARC Chamber of Commerce, commenced recently in Colombo. The event was graced by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and officials including SAARC Secretary General Golham Sarwar, SAARC Chamber of Commerce President Jashim Uddin, FCCISL President Kirti Gunawardena, members of other business chambers and High Commissioners and ambassadors of the South Asian countries. During the event, a special commemorative stamp and a first day cover were also issued to mark the opening of South Asia Trade Fair 2024.
As you are aware, many countries and international organizations that had stopped dealing with Sri Lanka in terms of economic and different aspects of economic activity in 2022 started to open their doors again within that short period. The latest example is, as last week, the announcement of Japan, which expressed last week to resume all funded mega projects in Sri Lanka and also to explore for new ventures. I would like to thank as Prime Minister all our friendly countries. The importance of this forum, I'm told, is the technology aspect, focusing on timely inventions such as renewable energy. We have in abundance. Mr. Chairman of the SAARC as well as Secretary General of SAARC, Sri Lanka has advanced its priorities to concentrate on the investment of renewable energy, at which India, Prime Minister Modi has been gesturing with a very impressive program, and all other friendly countries have been participating in the solar projects, new areas of investment. We thank all those friendly countries and friendly private sector. It is finally the private sector that can deliver what we have in abundance, what no one charges us. It is to tap and enter into the renewable energy trade. Also the consideration of regional market-oriented businesses between us. Travel has already increased, traffic has increased to all our countries as our cooperation, training, research and relaxation of travel in our region. This is another area of possible expansion that is still available. Trade barriers is another aspect where we fear some aspects of competition will hurt us. But trade barriers also makes tremendous changes to improve the conditions for economic development and trade. Therefore, we have to make use of these areas, and access has to be another matter of importance. At a fair of this nature, on behalf of the Sri Lanka government, we are committed in reducing the barriers as much as possible that will improve our regional cooperation, regional increase in trade and other investment for which all of us must work together.
And with that, here's a look at corporate news in brief.
HSBC Sri Lanka introduced its HSBC Live Plus credit card designed to enhance the lifestyle experiences of globally minded customers. Launched in partnership with Visa, the Live Plus credit card provides rewards tailored to lifestyle spending and reflects HSBC's focus on providing innovative solutions that help customers earn more rewards while enjoying quality experiences. Live Plus card holders are entitled to dining perks across Asia through the Live Plus dining program, while the card also offers a 15% discount at restaurants across Asia, in addition to an enhanced 10% cashback on spending in 3 categories: dining, shopping and entertainment locally as well. Meanwhile, Durden's hospitals secured the Joint Commission International USA re-accreditation for the 3rd time, reaffirming its position as a leader in healthcare. The JCI re-accreditation process involved a comprehensive evaluation by expert surveyors who measured over 1,200 elements of the hospital's processes and operations, covering areas such as patient care, safety protocols, hospital operations and governance.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit adaderana.lk.